Welcome to another episode of Sailing Quick Creations, where we're restoring a 46-foot John Pugh motor sailor. This week we're going to get to installing all the rust replacement and dissimilar metal panels, and we're going to weld them all in, and we're going to get to building a temporary floor so that in the future, when we get some time, we're going to make up some tables, some couches, the nav station and the kitchen, and we're just going to make them out of whatever scrap bits of material we've got laying around and get a feel on how we want the layout to go. We've got a couple of different ideas in mind on how we want to lay out the kitchen and the saloon. So we're going to make up a couple of mock scenarios and see which one we like best. So we're going to get to welding in those panels and have a look at the temporary floor. Let us know what you think and leave a comment, and hopefully everyone enjoys. Thanks guys. Before I start welding today, I've had a lot of issues with my welder where the welding wire sticks to the feed. So this is like a guide that the wire comes out through that hole there and just binds up and arcs out inside here. So I believe this particular one is probably for a gas assisted welding wire, but because mine's got the flux on it, mine's gasless, it's probably a little bit thicker than this. So I'm going to drill a 1.5mm hole through this and hopefully not snap my drill bit. So I'm going to do that now. So what I've done is put some masking tape around my drill bit, give it a bit more clamping force, I hope. Hopefully that welds a lot better now. It's got a bigger hole, the wire will go through without arcing out and binding up on itself. That's how we go. So about to start welding this bit where we cut the dissimilar metal out, and I've just got to run the grinder across the edge here because it's all painted, so stop it arcing out and splattering all the time. It's going to take that paint off. poor little welder just overheated, so I'm going to wait for that to cool down. It's only a 100 amp little tiny welder. I bought this for restoring old cars. It does a good job for cars because they're only 1.6 mil thick in most places, and some places the steel is only 0.6 of a mil. This thing is good for welding that. But we've got 6mm steel here. It welds it fine, but it's a little bit underpowered for what I'm trying to do with it. But we'll make it work. It is putting out some good welds. So just gotta finish it all. This is what I'm talking about, bridge welding. That's a large gap to fill with welding, but sometimes you gotta do that. It's not hard, it's just gonna take a little bit longer. Just going to start welding up the front of the boat here. Got a nice big plate to weld in there. I'm only going to tack in these triangle sections here because I'm a little unsure on whether or not I'm going to put a little hatch in so we can open it up, and what I'm hoping to do is put a high pressure water pump in on one side and then a hose I can reel out, so while I'm reeling in the anchor, if it's a muddy anchor I can wash it down as it's coming in, and then I can also wash down the deck. So I'm going to look at getting a little hatch, so I'll just tack that in, and if I need to take that piece off to cut the hatch out nicely, I'll do that. If not, I'll just end up welding it up. So nice easy job, that one, just a couple of tacks, but full weld all around here for this plate. So let's get cracking onto that. So I thought I'd finish welding that one off camera because no one wants to watch me weld for 15 minutes. So I'll get stuck into that one off camera, finish it all off, and I thought I'd just give you a quick walkthrough on all the parts that we've replaced. So we start here. We've got a panel here that we've cut out, which was dissimilar metals. It's galvanized, welded to steel. So that's been replaced. And down in the cockpit here, we've got a bit of rust that was in that corner, all fixed up. Not too bad. On this side here, we've replaced this section here. I'll finish welding that off camera. And then if we go to the foredeck, we've replaced this hatch here. I haven't ground the welds down yet, but we'll do that a bit later. And we've replaced these two bits of dissimilar metals up the front. So we'll continue this double plate further along, which will mount our anchor windlass, and then this might be a inner stay plate. So we're going to keep this hatch, which goes into the storage room, sail locker. But the hatch that was here, we're going to basically not use that hatch, but we've got a new Vitas hatch to go in over there. So that's where we're up to today, and we'll continue welding. And we didn't want to make the episode too long, so we'll finish that one off camera. Thanks guys. So just behind me I've got my sheets of ply. These are 1200 by 2400 sheets of 12mm ply. These are not going to be the cabin floor, they're just going to be temporary walkboards at the moment, so I'll make the proper cabin sole later on. I just need to be able to move around in there without tripping over or falling down into the big space I've got below the floor. So I've set up a straight edge and I've clamped that down just to cut it in half. These are 1200 wide. The opening in the boat is 800 wide, so I know once I cut this in half it'll go in and it's not going to jam or anything like that. So I'll cut these up and we'll get them inside. Now that's 4 pieces of ply ready to go on the boat. Here's my buddy. I feed him. Hello buddy.
Hi.
You gonna fly away? That means biggest fear.
It's your friend.
Crows are the scariest.
Are you a bit worried?
A little bit worried. It's looking at me.
You know you don't like them.
They go for eyeballs.
No, they don't.
Is someone a little bit scared of the crow?
No.
G'day buddy.
Hi. Are you going up?
Yeah, I think we're about done for the day.
We're gonna go home. We've had a good chat about the areas.
Oh my god, that was a long chat.
Might go have a look at some dolphins, eh?
Yay!